Mic check, mic check, mic check. Fire emojis in the chat box if you hear me. Fire emojis in the chat box if you can hear me. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure the sound straight before we get started. Make sure everybody can hear me. Got that going. Think we good and ready to roll. Okay, now I get a little levels. My levels working. Got the desktop audio up good for when the callers call in. If you want to call in, that number's already up there. Because I thought this would be a hot topic. I personally thought it'd be a hot topic, but we about to see. We about to see. All right, let's get this thing rolling. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Give a few shots out first. Let's see. Our Noti game for today. Ozzy 101, P. Brownie, and Marcus Payne. Finally. Jeremiah say finally. And that's what I was thinking before he typed it. Finally, somebody knocked B off that platform. So the next one, Brandon, you will not be on there. Sorry for you, my brother. They caught you slipping today. But before we get started, this is what I want to do. And before we get to the Noti game, I need to go back and talk about yesterday. Yesterday, I came on here and I was I was upset about some information that I had, and a little topic went left with me and Jeremiah, and I want to apologize to Jeremiah for that. It had nothing to do with him. It was something personal, and it was still on my brain, and just that our interaction kind of set me off. So I want to apologize to you, in the same platform that I guess I probably have disrespected you. So I want to apologize to you in that same platform. I didn't want to say it, in the messages when we were talking back and forth, because I didn't come at you in the messages back and forth. In the same way, just as loud as the action was, the apology needs to be the same way. So that's why I said I had a message for you. I wanted to wait till I went live to do that. So that's my apology to you for that. And again, I ain't perfect. Stuff go on, and we all have emotions and whatnot. And that kind of went not the way I wanted to go. So I want to apologize to you personally for that. And again, now I ain't want to quietly do it, because I didn't quietly say what I had to say yesterday. So I just wanted to be, come back and say I apologize to you, Jeremiah, for that. Shout out to Agent E2. Because Agent E recognized it, told me to chill. And that's when I recognized that I was in the wrong frame of mind too. Shout out Agent E for that also. Appreciate it. But now, let's get to the topic of today's show. Noti game. Let's get to the Noti game. Let's do that. Get to the Noti game first. Noti game from yesterday. Marcus Payne, Brandon Bazel, Big Reg. You would not see either of these three names up there tomorrow. Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. You just won't see Brandon's name up there tomorrow. You won't see Brandon's name up there. Tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. I might do something and put it out there. But at least Monday when I go live again, you will not see Brandon's name up there. Appreciate it. So Marcus Payne, Brandon Bazel, Big Reg, they were first yesterday. We'll have 2 new people Monday, unless I do something this weekend, and we'll go from there. All right? So that's how I know the gang. And again, if you don't know what that is, when the stream first comes up, matter of fact, forget when the stream first comes up, do know the gang. But when you come into the chat box, because you got notification on your phone or your computer or your watch, you come in and type Noti Gang also. And that lets me know that the YouTube stuff is working, that you got a notification that, hey, Coach Evans is going live on Sip the Tally Films. So whether you come in early or late, still drop the hashtag Noti Gang, so I know that the algorithm is working. You got a notification to say, hey, Coach is live. Let's go over there and see what he's talking about. All right? That's what we got going on. All right, another thing. And because I felt like this would be one of those topics where you were either one side or the other, we got multiple Jane Doe comments of the day. And I'm going to read two from Twitter too, but they ain't Jane Doe comments of the day. But we got multiple Jane Doe comments of the day because this is a hot topic in Ravens Nation. You either, my bad, wrong one. You either love Harbaugh or you don't. Really, there should be in between, but a lot of time it's not. It should be in between, but a lot of time it's not. So it's like no gray area with Harbaugh love. That's and it should be, but either you mess with him heavy or you don't mess with him because of past discretions or what should be or whatnot. So let's kind of get started with our Jane Doe comments of the day. And if you don't know what that is, when I put the comment up there, not the comment, when I put the topic in the community tab, you go comment and I'll pick, the one. Normally I'm just going to pick one. But today is one of those days where I pick more than one. And I'm also going to use the Malik say mid-bar. See what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about right there, Malik. And I normally pick one and bring that to the show. And you'll have a chance to win a Jane Doe prize pack at the end of the month. And I've been using Jane Doe for the past 3 or 4 days on an injury I've had. It's been working like a charm. I've been getting through my days with no problem. It's taking the soreness out. I'm walking better. I'm not feeling all those twinges in my back. It's doing its thing. All right. Let's go to these Jane Doe comments of the day. First one up. Brandon Bazel. And remember, the topic is John Harbaugh. He says he is a good coach and a game manager. He is terrible at keeping good staff around him. And had he hired the right people for his coordinator positions and let them do their jobs, he might not have no losing seasons and 2 more Super Bowls. I'm assuming he's talking about keeping Wink and Giro too long. I'm assuming that's what Brandon's talking about. Keeping Wink and Giro too long, which a lot of people think he did the same. Even when Wink left, a lot of people was thinking that Giro should have been the one left and not Wink. So, could he have had 2 more Super Bowls? Maybe. Again, we talk about we win the Super Bowl. You got to have at least 3 things to work for you. You got to have a darn good team. You got to stay healthy, and the injury bug can't get you. And that's part of being lucky. All right, let's go to the second comment. This is from Tony Herrera. He says, can't wait for the show. I say he's good, but not great. He wasn't hired because of his X's and O's specifically, but he's a football lifer. So I'm not about to question his football IQ. He runs the team like a CEO, and he says repeatedly that he trusts his guys. Whether that trust is warranted is another question, though. Yes, it is. And I'll tell you an incident that kind of, I'm going to come back to your quote, Tony. I'll tell you an incident that kind of had me feeling some kind of way about Harbaugh. And I know you guys all know this incident once I started talking about it. There was a 4th and something, and Lamar was coming off, and he was kind of walking off mad, and John grabbed him and, hey, you want to go for it? And Lamar was like, hell yeah, I want to go for it. And so he put him on back out there and go. And there was another incident where something happened, and he came and asked the players, hey, y'all want to go for it? And they were like, yeah. And my thing was, and again, I'm coming back to Tony's comment. Because cameras everywhere, microphones everywhere. Don't put them players in that position. Because they going to say, yeah, it could be 4th and 25. They going to say, yeah, because they think they can get it. They going to say, yeah, because they think they can get it. Don't put them in that situation. Because it's cameras out there. And that I felt like that was an attempt to get some of the heat off of him for his decision making. But that's my 2 cents. I'm gonna go back to Tony's comment of the day. Second, he says, but back in the day, he seemed more willing to adapt to his players and coaches, like managing the locker room, mutiny, or firing his family friend Cam Cameron in the Super Bowl year, or going with rookie Lamar over RG3 when Flacco went down and he was rumored to be on the hot seat. Let's dissect that. Managing the locker room. I personally don't think he really had to manage the locker room while Ed and Ray and Suggs and all those guys was there, because they took care of it. I think that's when he was best at his CEO deal. I don't think he had to manage the locker room at that time because I think those players took care of that. Ed, Ray, and some of those other guys. And that's when he was at his CEO level. As far as going with Lamar over RG3, RG3 I think was washed at that time. I personally think RG3 was washed, and it was the obvious choice. You draft this guy in the first round. Hey, let's see what we got. Let's finish Tony's quote off. Nowadays, he's loyal to a fault, where people rightfully question his judgment for sticking with his BFFs, Gregory and Saunders, for past the point that even Steve could see they were hurting the team. And let's not even speak on the ops, Steve Saunders, the real ops, Steve Saunders. I think the fact that he fired his BFFs points to his seat warming up. Yeah, his seat is warming up. His seat is definitely warming up. T is already moving up the ladder, and if he develops a strong leadership relationship with Lamar, I could see that being a strong reason to move him up if Harbs is out as head coach. Speaking of T Martin, I think that's what he's talking about. I think Saunders and Roman really outstayed their welcome one good year. One good year. They were 1 year too long, if that makes sense. Like if he had got rid of Saunders right after the COVID stuff, maybe we don't have as many injuries. Or if he get rid of Giro after that, not the year before his last, maybe we don't have as a stagnant offense when Lamar goes down. So if he even goes down, you never know. Lamar may not even go down, but that's all, whoever had the market last. So that's a bunch of ifs. And y'all know what happened if was a fifth. We'd all be, you know what. Got one more comment from Jeremiah. Jeremiah says, yes, Harbaugh is a Hall of Fame coach. The bottom line is record. 15 seasons, 10 playoff appearances, and only 2 under 500. The most road playoff wins. Flacco may end up being in the Ring of Honor, but Canton isn't coming. Winning a ring without a Hall of Fame quarterback is a rare feat and should get more respect. And I ain't think about that. Okay, if I remember, I'm going to go back and look at the last 25 Super Bowl winners and see if any of those guys, because I know the recent ones ain't going to be on there because they still playing. But see if any of those guys got either a Hall of Fame QB or Hall of Fame potential QB. I'm going to go back. That's a good point, Jeremiah. I'll go back and check that out. Did Lamar save his job? And did he hold on too long to a coordinator? The F- strength coach? Sure. Truth. The Ravens have a winning culture and a program that is very attractive to veteran free agents with opportunities elsewhere. They are the leading edge of analytics and innovation and have reinvented their style of play several times under the leadership of Harbaugh while staying true to old school fundamentals of the winning football culture. I love Harbaugh's style 200%. Even when he's corny or stubborn or overly loyal to his guys, he is definitely that last line. I am so tired of who's got it better than us. That was his daddy's thing. And it was good when it was his daddy's thing because it's got his players motivated. But I don't play for Harbaugh. But I'm so tired of hearing that. But I guess it's paying honor to his dad, and for that reason I can deal with it. But as far as being stubborn, I mean, you got to see the writing on the wall. I think, and this is no bearing on Harbaugh's good or greatness. We'll talk about that in a minute. I think great guys, great coaches understand when the voices get stale before their voice gets stale. That makes sense. They understand if the coordinator's voices are not reaching the players, that something needs to happen before the head coach's voice doesn't reach the players. I think the great guys, great coaches kind of figure that out. And you, as the head coach, you got to sometimes make them tough decisions. Because if I'm a head coach and my coordinator's not getting the job done, whether he my friend or not, I got to let him go. Because I can vouch for him verbally somewhere else for him to be like a position coach or even drop down at a different level and be a coach on another level. If I keep him on and all of us get fired, now we got to all find somebody else to vouch for us to get another job somewhere if our resumes ain't, up to par. But you got to be able to pull that string, and just because you fire somebody don't mean you hate them. I mean, the situation's just not working for you at that time. And you got to move on to try to, because you still can help them out later on down the road, because when they put in to get a job somewhere else, you can be like, yeah, XYZ, it wasn't working for us. And you can still talk them up good. So, but if the head coach get fired, pretty much everybody gone, and then everybody got to go try to find somebody to vouch for them the way they was going. All right, let me get these 2 Twitter comments, then we'll move to the phones. Got these 2 Twitter comments. I'm saying we had diverse comments about this, which is kind of why I like it. Move this over here. All right, I think we're good. Let's see. See if we good. Y'all see that? Make it a little bigger. All right. Art Izzy. He says he's blessed. He's a horrible coach who fell into a ready-to-win roster in 2008 and then lucked out with Lamar. He's adequate, but a great coach and would have 3 Lombardi's trophies since 2008, or should have 3 Lombardi's trophies since 2008. Sean Nelson came in and said he's great. Only weird ex-players like Pollard don't like him. If you watch Harbs, you can see his leadership and energy is contagious. As far as X's and O's, I don't know. But as far as being a leader and a team manager with the ring, he's great. And this is what I'm saying. Like before I even put these up here, it's either ain't really no gray area. Nobody really saying, he all right. It's either you like him or you don't. And I don't know, why. I guess because we as fans, either we want greatness or we want somebody else. I'm assuming. And it's either you like Harbs or you don't. And I think that's all of them from there. Hold on, I got one more. I just found one more. From Evans the Dude. He says he's a QB equivalent to a game manager. Not going to directly drive results, but allows his staff and players around him at their best. To be at their best. Culture of the next man up seems truer in Baltimore than most places where with every year some unsung hero comes off the bench and contributes meaningfully. And that I will say to that statement, that's why a lot of our UDFAs make the team and thrive. Now I will give him that. A lot of our UDFAs make the team and they thrive off of whatever the culture is of Harbaugh telling them and doing and whatnot. So let's kind of, look at Harbaugh's career over the years. Then we'll get to it. So I appreciate everybody with those Jane Doe coming up today's. All 3 of those names will go on the wheel. And the 3 from Twitter you won't. Sorry this time, but the 3 that we did from my community tab will go on the wheel. John Harbaugh. This is his resume, so to speak. Summed up. Regular season record 147-95, which is basically a 61% winning clip. Postseason 11-9. His career record total 150. This is postseason and regular season 158-104, which is a little over 60%. His best season was Lamar's MVP season, 14-2. Remember that season? At one point we were 2-2, and DeCosta went out and they made some changes after Cleveland beat the brakes off us, and we rattled off 12 in a row. Even though the playoff loss was disappointing, still not statistically, record-wise, 14-2 was his best season. Worst season, 2015, 5-11. 5-11. What I remember the most from that season is a lot of 3rd and longs and Joe Flacco having to try to run him with the ball because people wasn't getting open. That's what I remember most out of that 2015 season. But we got a Super Bowl champ in 2012. Didn't have a great season. Didn't have a great regular season. Ray got hurt. Ray came back at the right time. Joe Flacco went ape, in the playoffs. And we won Super Bowl in 2012 despite somebody turning off the lights. Whether it was Beyonce or Ronnie Lott or Joe Montana or Jerry Rice. Somebody tried to turn the lights off, but we still poured it out with the help of Jacoby Jones and Flacco and, the other guys. 19 years as a special teams coach. So I went back and looked at his list. He spent 19 years as a special teams coach or special teams /DB coach. He's 16 years as a head coach. That's a whole lot of coaching. And when I was putting these numbers together, I'm like, man. Because, I was on the not Harbaugh train for a while. But putting these numbers in, and I recognize he do a decent job. But putting these numbers together, I'm like, Harbaugh, he been around this 35 years? I'm 46. He been doing this thing almost as long as I've been alive. And I ain't even count his college stuff. This is just all NFL. He's the third longest tenured coach in the NFL. Only two people in front of him is Belichick and Tomlin. I think Tomlin is number 2. The only 2 people. And 10 of his 16 years, he's been in the playoffs. Now, looking at the totality of it, I'm gonna have to bag up off of Harbaugh some. Because even though as of late we don't have the Super Bowl wins that we would like, we don't have the playoff record that we would like. But this is consistency. I take if I could have this career, I take it any day. If this was my football career, if this was you take Harbaugh out of this picture right here and put me right there, I would take that 100 times out of 100. 100. I take that 100 times out of 100. So what I'm gonna do is, me personally, I'm gonna back up off him a little bit. Let him do his thing, and then go from there. Now, the only problem I have with, I think Darwin's Ravens just mentioned it. He's been a special teams guy. He's never been an offensive defensive coordinator. So I don't know how well, and I know he knows some X and O's. I ain't trying to play him for a sucker, but I don't know how well he was involved with what G-Roll was doing, or was involved with what Wink was doing. I know he probably would come out there and be like, "Hey, you got 2 downs to work with. Hey, we're gonna punt it right here. Hey, we going for it on 4th down. Hey, be prepared." Just warning them of different situations that he might be doing. But as far as the actual X's and O's of it, I don't know. It seems to be that he's involved a little bit more with what Monken's inputting, because he always saying lately, we're building the offense. We're building the offense. It seems that he's having some say-so in that. I don't know how much, but I would like for him to at least know what's going on. So it's, it is what it is. And this is my spiel on Harbaugh. And I did see a couple questions. I know, Lisa, you put one in there. I'm going to try to, I'm going to let this caller go. Then I'm going to come back to your question. If you have a question, put a Q in front of it, and then leave it in the comment section, and I'll try to get to it after the callers. All right. So let's move on to the phone line. All right. Got that right. Oh. See, you ain't have to listen to the elevator music today, my boy. You ain't have to listen to the elevator music today, my boy.
I know. I like that. I like that little addition right there.
Go ahead. What you got for me?
Come on, man. You already know what I'm about to say. No. Like, I understand. I heard everything you were saying. That's cool and all, bro. But when it comes down to decision making, bro, which is a key component of coaching, he is terrible. He's terrible.
Lately he has been.
Lately, you forgot about that fake field goal on the Super Bowl?
No, I say I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to be the opposite of trying to be the gray area, because normally ain't no gray area with Harbaugh. Either you mess with him or you don't.
I mean, see, but that's the thing though. I used to. Until he just sat down, I'm like, why are you making these decisions, bro? Like, Coach, be honest. Whenever he throw that challenge flag, you think he's winning it?
Nope, I don't. I do not.
You don't.
I do not.
And then, man, just what he's been doing lately is them bad going forward for 2-point conversions and 4th downs, all that other stuff. But I stamped him as a terrible coach, bro, in that Bills game, because it's like he make it come down to you have no other option but one option, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if you take that field goal in the Bills game, right, you can't lose off of a field goal. You can only lose on a touchdown. And then if you stop them, you win the game.
Yep.
You go for it. It's like he was just thinking, oh, we're going to get it, but not thinking about what if you don't. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's bad to me, bro. Like, you be putting players in bad positions, bro. And then I'm still salty that he ain't throw that challenge flag for Bateman to get his first touchdown. I ain't appreciate it. A good coach would have got their man their first touchdown.
His knee did hit the ground right before the line, but from his waist up was already over the line.
It was a touchdown.
So
yeah. I thought he was going to throw the challenge flag. I'm like, all right, go ahead and give my man his first touchdown. He didn't throw this. I said, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way.
Going back
But
to
no, man,
that
I don't
Bills
know.
play, the thing with that is if we kick that field goal, you add another 40 or some odd yards the Bills have to get on your defense because a field goal don't beat you. So now instead of them trying to that target number is the 35-ish, they got to get all the way to the end zone. That's another 35 yards. And everybody know that the closer you get to the end zone, the easier it is to play defense. The
Yeah,
closer you get to
exactly.
the end zone, you ain't got to defend over your head. It's easier to play defense.
See, and my thing is this: like when you take the lead, you put all the pressure on them. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to get down the field. We have to you're forcing Josh Allen to take risks. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't take the points, he don't have to force anything. He
Right.
can settle and be like, all right, we'll punt the ball, and then if we get a stop, we're going overtime. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, bro. Like that, it's just terrible, bro. I think it's terrible. And it was
So
another
what would he have to do this year to change your mind? Is the Super Bowl or nothing for you?
Because the Super Bowl ain't got nothing to do with him. He come on, bro. Like let's start the timeline. He didn't even want to fire Cam Cameron.
He did not. He did not. You sure
You
right.
see what I'm saying?
You sure right.
He didn't want to fire him. He didn't want to fire Greg Roman.
Yep.
So it's like, how can I give you credit for something that you didn't even want to do?
That,
The only
that,
thing
that
I
makes
give you
sense.
credit for is keeping Lamar in that game and basically letting him know like you are the future. And
Mhm.
like we don't even know if he made that decision. It could have been Ozzy EDC for all we know. Like just keep him in the game. We're moving
Yeah.
on from like
Now for that one, I think I will give him. I'll give him that one because to me that was obvious. That was obvious because I think rumblings were he was on the hot seat. Let me see what this kid can do, and got out there and had a little success.
I'm not talking about him putting them in. I'm talking about him keeping them in that playoff game.
Oh, okay. The MVP
You see what I'm
season.
saying? No. The rookie year. His rookie year.
Oh yeah, because San Diego, we got bad. It sure did. It got. 'Cause
But
I was in San Antonio watching that. Yeah,
situation,
it got bad.
Yeah, I give him credit for keeping them in the game, but then I still knock him for like, why didn't you open up the offense until the fourth quarter?
I just don't. I don't think Lamar knew enough of it.
But
I don't.
Anybody watching that game, they literally ran the same defense the whole game.
We ran the same plays too though.
But that's why I'm saying, open up the offense. We started moving down, and the crazy thing is, we were still in the game.
Sure was.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Because as bad as we played them 3 quarters, the ball bounced right once or twice, and we potentially could win that game.
Yeah. So I mean, bro, if we win it this year, that's cool. Hopefully he retires, but I just can't give him credit for it because, like I said, he didn't want to fire Greg Roman. He talking about he got excellent passing schemes and all that. Like, bro, what are you watching, bro? Like, what are you watching?
Sometimes it's better to be quiet, huh?
Yeah, like what are you saying right now? Like that's why we just look at you as this fraud, bro. Because it's like, what are you talking about? I understand you want to dig your man up, but come on, bro. Stevie wanted to see that man does not have no excellent passing schemes. Like, get the hell out of here with that.
Again, I say this again about G-Road. G-Road does exactly what I tried to do as a high school offense coordinator. Give you about 4 or 5 plays and dress them hoes up. give you a little motion.
And remember the plays.
Mm-hmm. Give you a little motion, give you a little different formation, and try to dress them up.
Yeah, like that. Come on, bro. Like, if we win the Super Bowl today, it ain't got nothing to do with him. It got to do with Child Monkey and the weapons that we got. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with Harbaugh.
Question for you then. I'm gonna let you go. So if we do win the Super Bowl, who gets more credit, EDC or Harbaugh?
Oh, EDC.
Because the pickup
credit because I'm gonna give him more of the credit because for one, I don't believe Harbaugh's hired Child Monkey. He basically said it. And for two, we already know how he feel about receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not giving them credit for nothing.
That's crazy how he said that, and then we went all in on receivers this year. That strikes me as strange, as because he was passionate too. If you want to worry about your numbers, don't come here. And we picked up Odell, drafted a receiver, been drafting receivers in the draft. I'm like, well, I mean, something gonna shake. Somebody pulled the cord.
Before I get off, right, I'm gonna say this. Him saying that comment and EDC drafting 3 receivers in the first round in his first 5 years, like that just tells me that they were not on the same page with that at all.
That's where I was headed.
At all.
That's exactly where I was headed.
Yeah, that just tells me it's not enough. I remember everything EDC said when he first. He said he wanted to build a track team, all that. When he said that, I said, okay, he want to spread it out. So I don't. Yeah, I'm not giving John. No, I can't. I can't. From what he said and what he's done, I can't do it.
Gotcha. Hey, DeMar, I appreciate it, man. It's always good. And good thing is you called and you had the whole time to yourself, which was good, which is a good thing. We can get all it out because I know how you feel about Harbaugh. And when I clicked over and saw who was up there, I said, "Yep, I already knew it." I already knew it.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it real with you, right? I come there every day, right? I see what the topic is. If I don't like the topic, I just throw a like on the video and I leave.
I take it. I take it. I appreciate it. Because you know what? Because we got so many content creators out there, and I be working like when I ain't on stream, I be doing other stuff for the channel. So a lot of times I just put their stuff on the TV to my side. You move the thumb up to like it and just let it play sometime. Just so you know, because they mess with me like that, and I that's, at least I can do is get them a view and give them a like at least.
Yeah, that's all you can do. I used to do that back in the day for people I knew that used to stream. I
sure appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let me get to this chat box and roll up out of here. Good talking to you again tomorrow. Hey, you saw my story today I put in there?
No, I didn't.
Oh, scroll up and because I put a little paragraph, a little dissertation in there. And let me know what you think. And hit me up.
All right, I got you.
All right.
All right.
Let's see. Let me close this out. All right. So what we'll do is let me get me back up in the right screen. Take this down. I'm gonna hit the chat box for a little bit because I see y'all having good conversation down there. And if you had questions, I want to answer your questions. Give me 1 second. I ain't had to use my button on nobody yet.
Stop the cap.
Everybody, I've been having good callers and whatnot. I ain't had to use my button yet. I'm waiting for somebody to come in tripping so I can hit them with the.
Stop the cap.
But luckily I ain't had to. Y'all been good to me. I appreciate you. All right, so let me go through the comment section and get it big enough where I can see it with these old eyes. And answer your question. So if you have a question, put Q in front of it. Q what's that? Q then colon, then ask your question. Let me get my chat box over here where I can make it big so I can see. Let me scroll up. While I get that up there, if you live in the Maryland area, or even if you don't live in the Maryland area, remember we're having a roundup meetup August 4th. If you want to get tickets to that, hit !tickets. It'll come up, and there's a link. It's a link where you can go buy the tickets. We are having prizes, food, regular drinks. There will be the opportunities to buy stronger drinks if you would like. But we having that August the 4th, and if you want to be around or live in that area or want to come out and meet any of us at the round table, and we'll be there. Putting that together. I'm really excited about what's to come of that. All right, let me see if I can get to these questions real quick. I know Lisa had one. I don't know if she's still here. Let me see if I can find it. Looking for that cue. There it is. She says, hey, coach, what will it take to keep LJ healthy? What will it take to keep LJ healthy? Not as many. And see, this is my thing with that. I think Lamar has gotten healthy outside of the pocket, but him being outside the pocket is what not really got him hurt. I think him running all those inside runs and getting those nicks and bumps and bruises, and then when he get hit like outside the pocket, it just be like the straw that broke the camel's back, if that makes sense. I think he gets nicked up and bruised and banged on so many, because he runs so many inside runs. I think when he does happen to, because he rarely gets hit outside the pocket, rarely. He goes down, he runs out of bounds, but because he runs so much up the middle, like we run a lot of power read with LJ. when I would rather just run straight up zone read with LJ. Because power read with LJ puts him running through the middle of the defense behind the guard. Zone read gets him on the edge out there with the receivers and DBs and whatnot. Maybe a linebacker. But power read, he got to go through the middle if he keeps the ball. Because the outside guy on power read is the running back or the jet sweep guy. Zone read, the running backs are running inside, and he's the one on the edge doing his thing. So I would much rather run a lot more zone read with inside with Lamar than power read or even the counter bash, because that puts him running off the two pullers, still in the heart of the defense. I need him outside if he's gonna run, but I really would love for the coordinator, to put together the offense and act like he can't run. Let his legs be secondary unless you're in a situation where, hey, it's late in the game, it's 3rd and 1. Okay, we'll go back and run a little power read or some stuff like that. Power read don't need to be a first down run for him. That needs to be just in case. Take his legs out of your game planning. Let him drop back, and then if all the receivers covered, take off and get you 30 yards. Let him get his rushing yards like that. Now and then you save his legs. So, man, if you want to add a little bit more of the runs in the playoffs, you got a fresher, healthier QB. In the playoffs, everything is, everything hands on deck, all hands on deck. Appreciate your question, Lisa. I think that was right. Is that right? Lisa, yeah, appreciate it. Let's see what we got up next. If you just put it in there, I'm going to get to it. I went back to the top. Lisa with another question. She says, will Monken's formula work here as it did in Georgia? All right, so I'll go ahead and tell you this. I was supposed to go live on Patreon and start doing the breakdown of Monken's former jobs as a coordinator. I had to go to the quantum realm to get the film, which was one problem. Then when I tried to load it to what I needed to load it to share it and be able to mark on it and whatnot, I loaded it all night. That ain't work. So I tried to load it again for this stream. That still ain't work. So what's going to have to happen is I'm going to have to do it the way I need to do it, like off stream. Put it together, build it up, edit and do all that. And then I'm going to put it on Patreon. And then I'm going to let the patrons have like 2 or 3 days in advance before everybody else. Because I know I promised you to go through it with me, but technology ain't really rocking with me on that level because the films are so long. Again, because they old too. Now with the Georgia stuff, I may be able to do it because it's a lot shorter and I got offensive side and defensive side. But with this older stuff from 2018 with Cleveland, it's the whole game. It's offense and defense, and it's just too big of a file. It's too big of a file. But back to your question. Will it work here? It could work. It could work. Because we have potentially not the same, but as a good of personnel package as he had at Georgia. We got 2 good tight ends. I don't think either one of them was as a good of blocker as Darnell Washington. But number 19 likely is just as good as him. Mark is pretty darn good. Kolar was good in college. We ain't seen it in pros yet. And then you still got Pat, to do the blocking. The quarterback play will be a lot better than what he had at Georgia. Running back play will be just as good. I think the kicker would be, because he had big hog mollies up front. I don't know how, because some games he could just say, hey, we're going to run inside zone the whole game because we bigger and bad and you're going to kick y'all butt. Now, that mentality can't happen because that ain't going to fly in the NFL. You just don't recruit the better players in the NFL. That mentality won't happen. So the only way I don't think it'll work is if the ego gets involved, because you just ain't got the 5 biggest, baddest MFers up front, and I could just run inside zone power and count it down your throat, and you got to take it. So, as long as he don't come with that attitude, I think it'll work. But he ran a bunch of different systems, and I say it all the time. He's been in spread, like a couple plays I saw just from watching the Tampa game, Tampa versus New Orleans 2018. They scored 48 points. The first 2 drives, I done seen like 3 different personnel packages. I done seen power I. I saw 11 personnel with a tight end with the X. I saw 11 personnel with the tight end to the 2 receiver side. I saw like 3-4. I just saw a lot of stuff in about 3 series that I'm liking so far. But I'm only on the first game. So We'll see. There's a question right up under it from Darwin's Ravens. Do you think Harbaugh has truly ever accepted responsibility for his previous hires of offensive coordinator? I don't think he. First of all, I don't think nobody would have the balls to even ask him that. But you live and you learn, and as humans, we all do that. We live, we may make a mistake, and we try to learn from it and make better decisions. So, I think that's where he's at with that because it seemed like it ain't because he held on the camera. I mean, held on to Roman too long. Almost holding on to Cameron too long also. So it seems like that. It seems like that. He says Flacco went through almost as many as Cutler. Yeah, Cutler was a bad dude though. I don't think Flacco was a bad dude. Cutler was a bad individual. Like he was a butthole. Some people just probably didn't want to work with Cutler. Let's see. I think son of a coach when we was talking about Harbaugh. Let's see. Still scrolling. Appreciate you making the live stream done, see? Appreciate it. Darwin's Ravens. I don't know why it's saying that. It shouldn't say that. It jumped to the bottom on me. Let's see. Okay, tagging does help me too. Okay, so I see your tags, Baltimore. Let me scroll back up, make sure I ain't miss nobody. Let me see. I see your tags. I guess tagging helps too because it's orange for me. All right. Here we go. From Baltimore Get Up, he says, "Hey coach, if the Raiders offers Marcus Peters $4 to $5 million for 1 year, is that the deal you see us matching?" As much as I think we need Marcus Peters, how much we got? Like 11 mil, right? We got like 11 mil. Well, I think we could match 5, 1 for 5, or 1 for 3 with some incentives on how much he play. 1 for 4 with some incentives on how much he could play to get him to 6. I think that's reasonable. That's reasonable. Raven 76, he says, "Coach, you think Marcus Peters wasn't re-signed?" I think Marcus Peters wasn't re-signed. I think Rocky Sin was signed before Marcus Peters because he's younger. He's mainly been younger, and Peters had the dust up, but I don't think the dust up is the reason Peters was not signed. Peters didn't play well last year, whether it be for health reasons or just his football decline, but he didn't play well last year. And I think Rocky Sin in his spot, is just an upgrade. Not saying I know how well Peters is mentally, but your best ability is your availability. And Peters has been hurt, a good little bit. And again, he really didn't have a good year. As much as I like Peters, I like Peters' dog mentality. He just really wasn't very good last year. And I think we got younger at the position. We also got them 3 young bucks down there too that needs to learn. So I don't think that dust up had anything to do with it. I hope not. Because it's grown men talking football. And Harbaugh said he liked Marcus Peters and he liked his mentality. And if he didn't like his mentality, I just wish he had not said anything at all about it. Like he just didn't speak on it. But to come out and say he's cool with it, I would hope that didn't have anything to do with it. But you never know. Let's see what else we got. Is Harb's replacement already on staff from Pay the Bills? I don't think so. If something happened to Harbaugh and he got fired tomorrow, I don't think I'd be comfortable with any of those guys. Even T. If something happened, God forbid, no, not wishing any ill will on him, but if something happened to Harbaugh today, I don't think any of those guys, maybe have an interim guy to fill out the day-to-day, but as far as long-term, I don't think he's there. I don't. And if I had to pick somebody, I'd pick Mike McDonald. If I had to pick somebody, I'd pick Mike McDonald. Because he seemed to be being groomed. He seemed to be being groomed. But if you ask me that question next year, I might like I'll be 100% yes, Mike. All right, let's see. Got that one. Did you see the video he posted when he looked bruised? Yeah, I did see that, Pinellas. Then the press conference was like he had got them 1-2 poppers put on him. Baltimore Get Up has another one. He says, Coach, since Calais is signed and we have a young D-line, could you see us signing Sue? Sue got the same mentality as Peters. So if Peters is a problem with his voice, Sue definitely going to be a problem. But I really don't want Sue taking away them reps from them young cats. I'd rather just hopefully they develop and get after it. And I won't, because we'll have them, Sue will be a 1-year rental. Matter BK and Travis and whoever else down there could develop and be good. Pierce is there to advise those guys. So I wouldn't take a chance on Sue unless somebody got hurt. Like if Pierce got hurt, then I jump at the opportunity to bring Sue in, a veteran guy. But as long as Pierce is good, I just let him ride with Pierce, Jones, Matter BK, Urban, Washington. And I don't know if we got somebody else in there. All right. Let's see. Are you streaming the Heat? I am not streaming the Heat and Celtics. I cannot stream during basketball games because I might get banned. I get real upset about that, and I probably wouldn't get banned on this one because I don't think we have a chance to win as much as I want my Heat to win. But I don't, no, I ain't. Football only. And again, I don't want to diverse my channel like that too. Ravens fans come here to see Ravens content, so I don't want to, put that other stuff over here. If I go live and they expect Ravens content, I want them to get Ravens content for the most part. Let's see. What type of Eagles offense? What of the Eagles offense do you think we see here? You're gonna see elements of it. But I wouldn't say it's the Eagles offense. I would say it's just you'll see elements of spread and more West Coast stuff. What I really would love if they brought in Petrino just to be like a consultant. That's what I would love. And I don't mean like put him on the staff, but just bring him in for like a day or two or 3 days and just talk about the stuff that he did with Lamar that worked and maybe how it would fit into the new system. Let's see. Coach, do you ever have people join your film? Yeah, on the Patreon I do. From Darwin's Raven says, do I ever have people join my film breakdown? On the Patreon I do. Leonard Floyd. I like Leonard Floyd. I would love to have Leonard Floyd. I would take Leonard Floyd over, dare I say, Houston. I would. Let me see. I'm going to do two more. Lisa with another one. How do you feel about wide receivers wearing single? I love it. As a former, I got to look good to play good guy. I love it. My favorite number is number 9. And when my senior year came and I had went to stay with my aunt and I couldn't get number 9, boy, I almost didn't even play. So I love it. But I guess you call me vain like that. Now what I don't like is defensive lineman and 0. I don't like that. All right. Hey, I'm at the bottom. So I hope I didn't miss anything. But if I did, I'm sorry. Charge it to my head, not my heart. I'm going to go get back on this Todd Monken film and try to get it out as fast as I can, man. See y'all soon. I appreciate everybody. Don't forget about Lunch Break Hot Take in about 2 hours. If you have not subscribed to More to the Tally, please go over there and do so. Got some stuff coming up with that this weekend. I think that's going to be my weekend project. I'm going to work on that this weekend. And, man, thank y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Again, if Jeremiah's still here, hope you accept my apology. Yesterday was my bad. And I just had some personal stuff going on that I was really pissed off about it, and that just triggered it. So, again, I'm sorry to Jeremiah and Agent E. Appreciate you for putting me in my place. Peace, y'all. Don't wait on me, Darn. Do yours. Cause I was me and all 22 were gonna collab on this Todd Monken stuff, but I was slow footing around, and I told him, hey man, go on do your thing. Go on do your thing. But I haven't watched it yet because I don't want his analysis to sway mine. So that's what I would advise. Go ahead and do yours and put your opinion out there. Don't let what I say about him sway what you think about him. That way you on the back end you can kind of come back and compare, what everybody thinks about Monkey. That's how I kind of work. Even I do the same thing with the draft prospects too. I don't go watch everybody's draft stuff until I do the individual. So like Zay Flowers. I watched nobody's Zay Flowers video until I was finished with mine. And then once I was finished, I would go back and see what other people thought about him. That way their influence didn't hurt mine. What I will say, if you have not, I know most of y'all probably follow Brent Coleman. He put out a great video today about a bunch of wide receivers. Great video. And Brent is what I'm striving to try to attempt to get this channel to look like. But he put out a great video today about wide receivers. So go check that out too. Make sure you sub to everybody if y'all want the call-in show with the roundup. Now I'm out.